Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to be going over how the 12.2 patch is going to affect Swain in particular. I'm not going to be covering overall balance. I'm going to be covering exactly how every single one of these changes might affect Swain. They're either going to be positive, negative, or they will have very little effect on Swain's overall game state and what he likes to see in enemy team comps, allied team comps, and item and rune changes. So, whenever you see a new ADC being added, you want to check out three things. You want to check out their attack range, how oppressive they're going to be in lane. You want to check out if they have an ACC. Unfortunately, she does not. And you want to check out if they have mobility, and she does, which is really annoying because it's going to be harder to land your E on her. So overall, Zeri is going to be a rather annoying addition to the ADC pool because she doesn't work with your passive, and she is mobile, and she can jump over walls. It's going to be a rather unfortunate addition, but at the start of the patch when people are still first timing her, if someone is hovering it in your lobby, obviously ban it if they are not the first pick slot, because you're just going to say, hey, they're just going to first pick it, and this is just going to be a great way of not having to play with it on your team, and it's going to be good. Now, if no one's hovering it on your side of the lobby, and you should not be banning this champion at the start because the enemy will pick it, and there will be someone that's newer on the champion, which is great. Now, overall balance changes and how it will affect Swain. You love seeing more Janna. Anything that is going to take away from the very high play rate of mages down in the bot lane is great. So people like playing new things, and playing against Janna can be rough at sometimes, but it obviously is a decent matchup for Swain because it isn't too much damage. A nerf to Lulu is obviously amazing, particularly this W is just really impressive, and being able to just spam that on you when you are in ult form can be very, very deadly. Nocturne being buffed is great for Swain because you counter it with Zhonya's, as well as having another melee champion is really good for Swain in the overall meta. You are able to do really well with allied Nocturnes because they can proc your passive with their fear, and then you are able to counter them pretty well because it's another melee champion. Now, Kiana being nerfed is really, really good, particularly this annoying ass grass thing is going to be great. Because she is really, really strong. Samira being buffed is actually huge for Swain because people really don't understand how strong of a lane Swain has with Samira. So you love seeing Samira on your team, and you have a decent lane into Samira as long as you rush Oblivion Orb, because you're able to Q and have that go through her wind wall. It is pretty effective. Having Senate change and buffed, you're going to see more of that in the bot lane, which is nice. I really like the lane because she has a very slow base movement speed that you can punish very easily with your E, and obviously taking away from people playing mages is always a big thing that people love down in the bot lane when they are playing Swain. Shen being nerfed is a little bit unfortunate. He is really strong right now, but you always like seeing low damage melee champions in the game. Tom Kench being changed and turned into more of a support pick is amazing because Swain loves seeing low damage supports down in the bot lane. Talon being nerfed is good for everyone. Tristana being buffed is actually huge because of how Swain loves playing with aggressive ADCs and does not mind playing against aggressive ADCs because he can punish, particularly when Tristana's jump in, you can land the root and really start bursting out that champion. Now, unfortunately, they are raising her base HP to 600, which is damn near 100 more base HP than Swain. I have no idea why, but it is what it is. Veigar being buffed is good when they are on your team, but obviously Veigar is really, really good into Swain because he's able to spike his damage really hard, and that execute is a very counter drain tank setup. Volibear seeing more play is, again, it's good to see melee champions being buffed. The more melee heavy the meta is, the better it is for Swain. First of all, because you like playing into a bunch of melee champions, and second of all, Swain, a lot of melee champions have CC, so Swain works really well off of things like Volibear, Yasuo, and Yone. Being buff is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what they're thinking. Why they think that Yone should get a buff before Swain is absolutely just ridiculous. Zed getting nerfed is kind of neutral. I like playing against Zed personally in the mid lane as Swain, but it is what it is. The effects passive shield bow changes is it's going to be okay. Obviously, they're giving compensation buffs to Yasuo and Yon because it changes to lethal tempo and shield bow. They're giving it more shield strength early and less late, or more late. So we will see how this affects it overall. Did I read that right? 275. So it's going to be less early. Change to 275. Okay, so it's going to be more early and less late, which is good. Lich Bane, you should never be building Lich Bane on Swain. It could be a fun little meme build that I might post a video on sometimes, but Lich Bane is just not really what Swain is looking for. And the biggest change that is going to be affecting Swain, and that is the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, is going to be great for support. It's going to be great for mid laners. Whenever you can get a utility item for cheaper is going to be big. Also, getting more health on it is very friendly towards Swain. Lethal tempo changes. Hopefully this discourages people from going lethal tempo, because consistent damage can really counter Swain really heavily, and that's really what it provides. Overall, that is all the changes in the patch. If you guys enjoyed this kind of content, let me know. I think that this patch is going to have a lot of positive things. Hopefully we're going to be seeing less mages in the bot lane, more mid-range mages with Lich Bane, and more melee champions and aggressive champions. So overall, I'm pretty optimistic about this patch. I would not be surprised if Swain's win rate maybe increased by 0.5 or 1% in the overall stats. Probably be tracking that and seeing how it goes. And as always, guys, take it easy.